The top 10 most LGBT-friendly places in the United States to retire. This is the focus group.
It's the savvy side of 9 to 5. Listen.
Bueller.
Laugh. And learn.
Negotiation. This is what you do in business.
This is the focus group with Tim Bennett.
Staunch.
And John Nash.
Keep your clothes looking neat and clean.
We're all business. Except when we're not.
And Tyler was San Diego. Welcome to the focus group. John Nash here with my good friend and co-host, Mr. Tim Bennett.
Hello.
Wearing his, that shows is almost black, but it's your navy blue polo.
Navy blue, which looks like
polo.
black.
Hey, find us every Wednesday from 1 to 2 on Facebook Live or YouTube. And, of course, we're available anytime at focusgroupradio.com, which is our website, has all the media for our shows, including the podcast Unbuttoned, which you could subscribe to. It's a 20-minute audio podcast, comes out on Tuesdays. We usually tackle about 3 stories, and as Tim likes to say, we're a little edgier, but some listeners think we need to be edgier even still,
Even
right?
more so. More opinionated than usual.
All right, so here we are, folks. Last official week of Pride. Top of the Pride tier. We're going to box the leprechaun up, and New York Parade is this Sunday.
You're going to miss it.
I'm going to miss it, yeah. But I talked to a lot of people. Some people are going, some people aren't. Everybody does this thing where they take 2 years off, 1 year on, whatever. So the Pride is happening this weekend.
Bob's not marching this year.
His company is, but he's not. And I also think that you could see Pride in Chicago's parade is this weekend. And a couple other cities do kind of keep...
Is it San Francisco, too?
Maybe San Fran. I know L.A. had their Pride already. They had their parade already. So I hope it's been a good Pride month for everybody. And in the spirit of that, I want to talk to you about Harry's. So Harry's is on the show with us, and they were on earlier in the month, and they had a Pride kit. So it was one of their shaving sets that was specifically designed for the LGBT market and for Pride. I have to report to you that it's been sold out. I'd like to take full credit for that, but I think that they had it at a lot of different places, right?
Because we had someone on from Harry's and Trevor on in May, right? So maybe
they
goose
got it up. But, you know, I could read, we're going to tell you all about the virtues of Harry's, and it's harrys.com/focus if you want to check out some of their offers. And I believe if you do that, if you go harrys.com/focus, you do end up at a page for a special iridescent handle that was part of the Pride kit. I think you could still get the handle, but we would recommend getting a full kit. So the kit sold out. It's really beautiful, and I hope they make more next year and they continue this great effort. But I thought it would be fun to share a letter from a listener.
We got a letter.
Someone who actually, I'll just say it this way. It says, letter. Well, I finally broke down and ordered Harry's. I've heard it advertised on a couple different podcasts, but the Pride set Trevor Project set pushed me over the edge to give it a try. Then he said, I tried, in all caps, to order the Pride kit, but that was sold out. This was like 2 days after the show aired, so he's thinking we're the sole driver, which is, I'm fine with that.
Of course we were.
So I have to believe it was like a feeding frenzy the day the show aired. Like all these people, click, 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 the Pride kit. Probably like a Home Shopping Network scene. Just 4 sets left. You better call now. Did Harry's not know the shopping power of a bunch of gay men who are buying stuff for themselves? Jeez. It's all in the letter, right? They should give us first crack at them next year, just saying. Maybe have a special focus group edition. Anyway, love the set that I did get, so thanks for having Harry's on the show. Thanks for all the shows that matter. So he went ahead and got one of the normal, I think, is there a name for the Norman or something? They have names, but you got the normal kit that you could get.
So the kit, so if you do use, and if you're watching on the video, you can see harrys.com/focus. As John said, it'll direct you to a site, and you could, while supplies last, still purchase the iridescent handle. But you could also get the trial kit, which comes with a weighted handle, a 5-blade razor, which has a lubricating strip and a trimmer for a closer shave, the rich leather shave gel, which smells great.
Lathering gel.
What did I say, leather?
Lather. Well, the lathering will help with leather-like skin.
Leather-like skin. So for my leather-like skin, the lather. But there's the shave gel does lather up great.
You love the gel.
Well, because it lathers great, and I like when it lathers, right? And it does smell great. And then a travel cover, and a lot of people forget what travel covers are. And somebody asked me about it. It's so when you put it in your DOP kit and you stick your hand in, you don't cut yourself.
Yeah.
So it's so you need to get that, and of course, Harry sets aside 1% of all sales to nonprofit organizations that provide access to mental health care. So, of course, they're one brand that's doing good all year long. Go to harrys.com/focus and try them out. It's a good time to try out. John mentions this a lot, that sometimes you might not. Shaving seems to be so routine sometimes that you get into a rut. But if you really want to try something different and get a great shave, you should try Harry's, and they give money to great causes. So thank you.
Like their Ever Project. Right. So thank you to them for making Pride a true top of the pride.
Top of the pride.
All right, before we continue, we have a package that arrived at the studio, and it's filled with Oreos.
Where did this come from?
All right, so first, the beautiful handwritten note with the gold seal on the back.
Hallmark?
It's like a little, and look at that handwriting. I mean, that my mother would be so proud.
Is your mother sending this in?
No, but my mother doesn't even have writing this good.
Say that.
Look at that.
Wow.
Beautiful penmanship. It's yeah.
Of a certain age.
Yeah. So
how old do you think this person is?
Oh no.
Little feather. Oh boy, it's quite a note.
Top or bottom of the. So it says, "Dear Focus Group Radio, top or bottom of the pride to you. Top of the pride, bottom of the pride." Enclosed are a few treats to share with the boys in the booth. And as we mentioned, the boys in the booth, we have Garrett on audio and we have Steve on video. You guys are Oreo fans, correct? You know,
Oreologist.
Garrett's the Oreologist.
Oreographer.
Are you the Oreographer or the Oreologist?
I don't remember.
You change it up. You'll also find 2 toys to keep or give away as you see fit. He enjoyed Keith Price's recent appearance as a guest host, a nostalgic reminder of the days when your old platform served a wider audience. How true, huh? Oh. Your recent interview with Frank also brought back Frank DeCaro's book Drag. I think he's doing super well. Memories and laughter. Keep up the entertaining look at business and marketing from your keen perspective. Your Fort Worth, Texas, right?
Well, we know it's Texas, but we don't know who this is. So someday you have to show yourself to us.
All right, here are the treats.
Assume it's a man from Texas. But
Tim, what did you get? I think this says for Tim. Sorry, it's not Sled Purple, which refers to us talking about cars that don't leave the lot.
It is a Volkswagen. Hopefully this one doesn't have to go back to the shop right away.
I got the Batman. This is like the original Batmobile from the classic TV show. All right, guys, we're going to share all of this with you in the booth, so I'm going to go through this quickly. Have anybody heard of latte thins? Oreo latte thins?
I've seen them.
Did you want to taste it all?
Yes, I want to taste that.
You taste the latte thins.
I like a latte.
Here's one that's got my name all over it. Dark chocolate flavor cream. Ooh, Yum-O. So, Garrett, we'll see. You know, birthday cake is your favorite, and for good reason, because it's delicious, right?
Oh, my God, this smells just like... Do you like the smell of coffee?
I do like the smell of coffee, actually. I'm not a big coffee fan, but I'm going to taste one.
You're not a big coffee fan, but that's good.
Hey, those are good.
Yeah, they're good with milk. Cold milk.
That's what Garrett says. And whole milk, not...
Did you... We no milk again.
We didn't know it was coming.
All right.
Here's one. Guys, did we try this before? It's limited edition s'mores Oreos.
I don't remember if we tried those.
Doesn't sound familiar.
All right, we have a lot to... We'll have to send the elves in to start having samples happen. And then last but not least, from our very, very good friend in Texas, thank you for all this, Oreo chocolate candy bars. These are interesting brand extensions. Oreo candy bar. How's the s'mores? Uh-oh. If Tim just chews and looks at the bag, I'm not sure.
Well, you know what?
You like it?
I think because I had nothing to cleanse my palate, I think I'm still tasting this latte cookie.
The latte has a flavor.
It's strong. But I like the idea of s'mores, although sometimes they can be too marshmallowy, maybe. Did you try that dark chocolate thing?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
Because I have a s'mores in my mouth right now. So thank you. I love our cars. I love our note. I love the fact that you did this for us.
We'll have to get a...
I like s'mores. And it does have a bit of a marshmallow flavor. Although these lattes are surprisingly... Right?
Yeah, well, we need Garrett and Steve to try them and let us know what they
Well,
think.
what we'll do is we'll run in at break and give them the bags, and then they can chime in during our shop talk. And you know, we always share Oreos with the boys in the booth, especially Garrett, because Garrett gives it to you real. You know, whether he'll just tell you.
Well, every time I see the birthday cake Oreos, I think of Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm not a
same here. Every time I'm
not a
like, oh,
chocolate
Garrett's
fan.
favorite cookie.
But these are dark. Look how dark they are.
I agree. We should have had a palate cleanser. We didn't know. This was a surprise. I like it. It does have a bit of a bitterness that dark chocolate does. A little touch of that, right?
Bittersweet. Mm-hmm. It'd be good on vanilla ice cream. Crumble it up. That's what I would do. Well, thank you to our friend in Fort Worth. You'll have to show yourself to us one day.
I love the fact that these are flavors I never see these in the store.
No, you don't? So I've seen those.
Our store is I think birthday cake must in fact be one of the best-selling flavors because I always see Garrett's favorite. It's the vanilla cookie, right, Garrett? Vanilla cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I see a lot.
Well, see, I thought you liked it with the chocolate cookie.
No, it's got to
I
be
like
vanilla.
the golden.
The
I don't
golden?
see the birthday cake much, at least in the stores by May.
Upstate must be huge.
Well, next
because
time I
it's
see
always
one,
there.
I'll get you one because they have them all over. And the pistachio is still out. Lemon is still out. And the red velvet I see all the time.
When I'm at the store upstate, it's the birthday cake, the golden one, red velvet, which I always thought used to be special. Now I think it's a full-time cookie. Is
Flavor.
that possible? And there are a couple others, and then there's the standard ones. You know,
I just wonder if it's hurting regular Oreo sales because I never bought Oreos.
really.
Rarely. Now, so these flavors made me buy them, and then we've been tasting them now for 3 or 4 years. But I can't tell you the last time I bought a regular pack of Oreos, nor do I intend to.
Well, if everybody keeps sending them, you might not have to buy them. But
No, you just keep trying the flavors, right?
I think the flavors are fun. Yeah. Well, hey, look, it's like Garrett said one time. I grew up with Oreos. They were a rare treat. We were not allowed soda. Once a month we had soda.
You
Once
weren't allowed soda?
No.
What'd you drink?
Water.
As a
Apple juice.
kid?
We were allowed apple juice.
Full of sugar apple juice.
I know. It's so counterintuitive,
Bad
right?
for your teeth.
I always begged for orange soda. I love orange soda. Didn't you
Still do?
No. But as a kid, I adored orange soda.
Really?
Yeah. And then when we were allowed cereal other than I think it was either Total cornflakes or something bland.
Ugh.
We would beg for it was Captain Crunch or Crunch Berries or Count Chocula. Anything that turned the milk into like basically sugar water, flavored milk. Yeah. My mom, we were laughing about that the other day because she said, we raised you kids right. I'm like, there's no right or wrong. Just because the household didn't have soda didn't mean, no, we knew. You had great teeth. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But all my other friends at school, did you try to do Crunch Berries? I'm like, or peanut butter balls. That was the other one. Captain
those.
Crunch.
Yeah.
Do you remember those? Were quite good, actually.
You give it some old bland cornflake or something?
Yeah, cornflakes. So one day my mom, I do a thing of cornflakes, and I put milk on it, and I take the sugar bowl, and I start spreading sugar all around.
Right.
What are you doing? Like, I got yelled at because I think I used 2 or 3 teaspoons of sugar, of
You
granular.
had to do that to eat it.
I used to eat sugar just raw, like a teaspoon of sugar. Oh my God, yeah, I love.
Really?
Well, it's nowadays they call sugar a poison. So I don't know. It wasn't poison to me. I love the darn stuff.
Sprinkle it on your toast.
Hey, we got Billy on the line, and Billy was in New York. He was here in the city. He was helping his partner out. Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'd use a White Russian to dunk those Oreos in, though.
White
Billy,
Russian would be good.
that's a good. You doing good? And how's Edwin doing?
He's asleep.
Ah, okay. And you're getting ready to go back upstate soon, right?
Well, I'll hang out here for the rest of the day and, let him sleep.
Yeah, Edwin had to have a surgery down here, and then Billy said in a note, he goes, I don't want to drive home because of the roads. Instead, you're going to take the train up, right? Because it's a smoother ride?
Oh, yeah. I had another friend who got surgery in Westchester, and even in the Mercedes, I heard screams of pain.
From our fantastic infrastructure, right?
Well, they're too busy. They don't have time to. You can't pave. There's too much traffic.
Hey, the Metro North limousine's not bad.
Oh, wait a minute. You get to do Metro North. You don't even get to do it. You could go out of Grand Central. There you go. One of the finest train stations.
Yeah, I let Tim do a third world country out of Penn.
Yeah, well, that's about what it is.
No, but at least to Tim's credit, Philadelphia, the 30th Street station is a classic, beautiful Beaux-Arts. The only thing that sucks about it is they used to have that, Billy, one of those boards that had the actual...
Oh, yes.
They got rid of it.
We were the last station to have it. They said that it was made in Italy, and you'd have to hand make parts for it. But what I loved about it is, even with all the noise in the station, when you heard that board move, you knew there was an update.
Yeah, and you just look at the board.
Now you just look at this muddy old, screen, which is just horrible.
Didn't they restore the one for that TWA hotel?
They did. They did. And there's some rumor that they're either going to put the old board from Philly in a museum or something. But one of the Congress people was trying to lobby to get it back, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, I don't know. It's one of those things with change.
I just think that even in our modern culture, there's room for that. It's mechanical, it's analog, but it's beautiful. And as you said, the subtlety of hearing, and it just cuts through in a soft way all the low rumble of the station. And actually, Philly's not a loud station. People are so civilized. If you've ever taken a train out of Philly, Billy, people actually line up in single file, properly line up to get on the train.
Like New York, which is a mad scene.
It's a cattle call, man. It's a mad dash.
Well, they said they changed the boards for people with hearing disabilities, but I don't know what that had to do with anything, because you still have to read the board anyway.
Oh.
Well, on that note,
yeah.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Thank you, Billy. I'm assuming you're not going to do Pride this weekend?
Still unsure. If he's mobile enough, yes, we will be down and do the pilots group. If not, we watch on the big telly.
Win-win in both cases, right? All right, my friend. Safe trip home. I'm glad Edwin's doing well. Let him sleep, and we'll hear from you soon.
Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. I was watching a Pride thing on TV the other day. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it. So... It was in Philadelphia. They were doing Philadelphia Pride, and there was a concert going on. A bunch of drag queens up there, and they had somebody doing sign language. Do deaf people go to concerts? Hello?
Well,
yes.
Do they? But I mean, are they? So I was trying to figure out why they were trying to do the song.
I took sign language classes in college, and they told us all about deaf culture.
Right.
They read the signs to get the words, but apparently they can feel the bass and the vibration in their feet and their whole body. So they dance, and then if they want to see the lyrics, they look at the guy signing.
What? Okay. No, that
I have a cousin who's deaf,
well explained.
I don't remember her going to a concert. That's why I wondered about it. I thought it seemed to be a little bit overkill.
And Steve said it perfectly. Deaf culture, meaning
I don't know it. Right.
We don't. But that was well said. And the minute you said it, I thought, of course they could. When you're at a concert, you feel the people around you. You could feel the.
Well, Richard's teaching Trixie sign language now. Walk, eat. And the vet said.
Well, your Chihuahua's very smart.
But no, Trixie and the vet.
Oh, Trixie, the Puggle's getting.
She lost her hearing.
Oh.
But the vet said that they will pick up on.
Hand signals?
Yeah. So it's funny. He'll do this to her like he's going to walk, and she goes toward the leash.
I tell you, what a way to wrap up Pride. We have a gift box from Texas with Oreos. We had Billy chime in that he's here in New York.
I actually
learned about deaf culture. Yeah. I have no problem. So with that, I'll just say what caught your eye.
What caught your eye? Here's what Tim and John found.
So I have a quick one, and then I have something a listener in Chicago sent us that's kind of another Pride thing that I didn't have time to get in the deck because I came in this morning. But the story I found says, "Welcome to Gay Hell, Michigan, where only Pride flags are allowed to fly." So there's a YouTuber, Elijah Daniel. He's pulled off a lot of stunts since he has been a YouTuber influencer. But his latest is he's the mayor of Hell. And there's a place, Danielle, he purchased Hell, Michigan for Pride Month, and he's used the opportunity to name the town Gay Hell. So Gay Hell is located about 20 miles northwest of Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's been for sale for years. So, a lot of these little towns are for sale. You've seen some in Colorado.
We were out in Colorado, yeah.
He says he can't disclose how much he's paying to be mayor for the 2 weeks because he's in the process of buying the whole town permanently. So as the mayor, in 2017, he was also the mayor of Hell, and he banned heterosexual people as a town stunt. And he said it kind of went, didn't go over all that well, but He says now, as the owner of Gay Hell, he's decided that his first act was to allow only pride flags to be flown as a protest to the Trump administration's ban on flying the pride flag at embassies. So he said that he's figured that this would be a perfect name for the town, which is in a very rural and religious area of Michigan. He said as growing up, he grew up in that area, and every time they would drive through hell, he was told by his family that if you're gay, you're going to go to hell.
Okay,
So he said...
that is funny.
So he says...
I saw this, but I never read, so that connection is really funny. Okay.
So he said, so the fact that I'm from Michigan and every time I drove by there, I was told I was going to go to hell if I was gay. He said, so I decided to name the town Gay Hell. And he's going to do a whole little tourism campaign around it. He's going to officially change the name to Gay Hell, and he's going to try to have events and have people come visit Gay Hell.
Wow.
Outside of Ann Arbor.
All right, so jokingly, we used to say that Gay Hell was like staying at a Howard Johnson's or a Holiday Inn. That's what he needs, like a really low end.
Or the end of the Pride Parade.
The gays for electricity at 8 p.m. at night. Yeah.
Gays to listen to Patsy Cline. What time is it? And then this one came in, and we've been asked some questions about this. So this says, this came from a listener, Marianne in Chicago. These 9 Pride celebrating companies have donated millions to anti-gay Congress members. So this had just come out. It says, despite giving millions to anti-gay politicians, the HRC gave these 9 companies a 100 score, a perfect score in their corporate equality index. So they said during Pride Month, many corporations unveiled rainbow versions of their logos to show solidarity with the LGBTQ community. However, their actions don't always match the image that the company is trying to portray or convey. And there was a group called Popular Information that did a study, and they looked at 9 corporations that have donated millions to anti-gay candidates, all of which received a perfect score from the HRC, declaring them among the best places to work for LGBTQ equality. So the 9 companies, you'd be surprised. They said the biggest donor is AT&T. They donated to 193 homophobic politicians to the tune of almost $3 million. They donated to Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, who opposed Violence Against Women Act because it had LGBTQ people involved with marriage equality. Comcast, which gave to Virginia Fox of North Carolina, who claimed the Matthew Shepard murder was a hoax. Then it goes on and on listing the companies. So number 9 was Pfizer. Number 8, Verizon. These are all companies that had a 100 perfect score from the HRC, and they've all given millions of dollars to anti-gay politicians. Pfizer, Verizon, UBS, number 6, FedEx, number 5, General Electric, number 4, Home Depot, number 3, I had to laugh at Comcast, who jerks off all over Pride, number 2, UPS, and number 1, AT&T.
Okay. AT&T has been trying to do a merger, right?
193 politicians they've given homophobic politics, anti-gay legislation, the whole bit.
So isn't this the case, though, of the company that gives to the Democrat and the Republican equally because you have to cover your bets, right?
Yeah.
Still, it is interesting and hypocritical, right, to have that.
Well, for instance,
stat.
Comcast, that has all this equality nonsense going on, that they're doing this, that, and the other thing else, and then they're giving money to people that are banning people from trans people from using bathrooms, and they're giving money to people that think Matthew Shepard's death is a hoax, and they're giving
which are the same companies that sign letters to the legislatures of North Carolina or Texas who are doing the anti-trans.
So it does.
Here we
go
are.
To the question of people saying, what do you think about these companies that fly the rainbow during June?
Happy Pride.
But
Happy Pride.
Their employees all feel good about it, and they're marching in the big parade. But guess what?
They're giving. They're giving to politicians left and right, and a lot of them
all about money.
It's all about and hypocrisy.
Yeah, and hypocrisy.
I think as you get, now I know why my parents were so jaded about politics. You get to a certain age, you've seen it all, and you just the wheel's just going to go round and round.
Yeah.
What caught my eye was a little article out of BuzzFeed. This is light and jovial. And it's called 17, it's X text. So your X,
EX.
Like EX, X text responses that are as legendary as they are savage. So I picked a couple and I'm going to describe them to you as we get here. So One text shows it goes like this. It starts with a little conversation bubble on the left. So it's the old boyfriend saying, "Babe, I miss you." And the girlfriend apparently sends back a picture of her in what looks like a Victoria's Secret number, and she's got a nice little tight body there. And then he says in response, "Aw, I knew you miss me too," smiling emoji with heart eyes. And then she answers, and she gets the prize. "Nope, just showing you what you're missing out on. Joey's coming over tonight." Burn. All right, next up. Let's see. "Hey, hi, sorry I was in the shower. What's up?" So the hey came on a Monday. Tuesday, she responds, "Hi, sorry I was in the shower. What's up?" He says, "For a week?" And then she replies, "Yep, I'm pretty clean." So I like that one. What's our next ones here? Oh, here, this is a classic. Okay, from the old boyfriend. "Listen, I wanted to say I'm sorry for everything I have done. I was an asshole and I didn't treat you fairly at all. I know you may not like me, but if you can forgive me so we can be friends, I would appreciate that.
That's nice.
I miss you too." So she sends back, "I don't not like you. Don't be silly." Smiley face, or like a little shy face. And he goes, "You don't? No, I hate you. Oh. And of course you miss me. I'm perfect. Don't text me again." Sorry, I find these to be really funny. Okay, let's see what the... Oh, yeah, that one. What is it? It starts off with him going, "Hey, Smiley," smiley face, that colon, parentheses. And the thing that just came back is, "No." Hey,
Doesn't want,
no.
Doesn't want to talk.
Is that the last one we got up there? That's it. Okay, there are a couple of other ones. "So you do miss me. Miss your apartment, girlfriend." "Ah ha ha, oh ha ha. So just the apartment, not my cock?" "Yes." He goes, "Wow." Like, so she only missed his apartment. But what people will say on text. So that was mine. A little frivolous.
Did you ever send a nasty text?
Yes.
You did on purpose, or?
Let's just say it was interpreted the wrong way. But in general, I have received texts that I have a friend who was teaching down in Jersey, and he was having a bad year, and I guess I wasn't being responsive enough, or I wasn't present or something, and he went home for the summer to Europe, and I got this screed. Like, it was really, and I don't know what to do with it, so I simply sent back a note saying,
"Okay.
All the best to you, good luck and safe travels. I don't know what I just read, but, all the best." Basically, if you move on in your life and you don't talk to me again, at least you know I'm not upset about anything. Weeks later, I get this, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was having a bad day," or something. See, I don't know how you back that up. I don't know how you walk that back. That's the expression
The problem with those texts, or a lot of that stuff, is sometimes it's just...
They're devoid of context.
Right. And whether you're joking or you're... Yeah, that's the danger. Or what I hate about that iMessage thing is sometimes you send the wrong thing to somebody.
Oh.
It happens a lot.
Okay, well, here's an etiquette one. My friend Ed sent me a text about a week and a half ago, and he said, "Would you and Bob like to see a show with him and his partner, because they had some spare tickets?" And I made a note to talk to Bob about it, but the day goes, the texts come in, and it goes down, and I totally spaced, and I find it on the phone. I'm like, oh, my God. So now I can't text him. I got to call him. I got to call and apologize and say we're not going to be able to use the tickets. Hopefully you found somebody, because I haven't answered. I'm sure he went down. Hopefully he did. But I'll call and apologize. But this is a friend of mine. Ed is one of those guys who prefers calls. He says, "Just pick up the phone. I'll answer." That's the old days, right?
I have two friends that don't do that. They constantly text, and so as they're texting, I will call, and they still won't answer.
Why is that? Like, calls are efficient.
One of them is Marianne in Chicago, as you know. And the other one's my friend Brian. The same thing.
Brian?
Text. I'll call, and 9 times out of 10, they won't pick up. I'm like, you're not a millennial. You can pick up the phone.
All right.
Anyway, business birthday.
Everyone does celebrity birthday.
So it's for you, Nash.
But the Focus Group is the only show in the universe that celebrates business birthdays.
This birthday?
Do you know who Bernard Anthony Harris Jr. is?
No.
birthday today, June 26th. Was born in 1956. He's 63 years old today.
He was an astronaut.
First African-American astronaut.
Super cool. Okay.
63rd birthday. He was, on February 9th, 1995, he became the first African-American to perform a spacewalk during the second of his 2 shuttle flights. He's got more degrees than a thermometer. He went to University of Houston. He got an MD from Texas Tech. He completed work at the Mayo Clinic. He's a flight surgeon with the Aerospace School of Medicine from the Brooks Air Force Base. He received a master's degree in biomedical science from the University of Texas Medical Branch. He's a licensed pilot and a certified scuba diver. I don't know where people find time.
A licensed pilot. You know how many hours it takes to be a licensed pilot and to be certified for scuba? It's not exactly short either.
After completing his fellowship at NASA, he joined the Johnson Space Center as a clinical scientist and flight surgeon, where he conducted clinical investigations of space adaptation and developed countermeasures for extended duration space flight. He was the first African-American man to go into space as one of the research teams that was involved in the construction
Are those his dogs?
of the space.
Yeah, you missed the best picture of them.
Space dogs.
rovers.
These are his dogs that he brought in for his photo shoot.
That is hysterical.
Yeah.
That's hysterical. The dogs look very, well, they love him, man, right?
He logged 198 hours, 29 minutes in space. He completed 129 orbits, traveled over 2.9 million miles in space. He left NASA in 1996 and continued his research. He served as vice president of SpaceHab, which is an innovative space commercialization company.
They want to send up these things that inflate.
What
That's
does that mean?
space. So they want to send up these super compressed package. It gets to orbit, and they fill it, and like a balloon, like a Macy's
And
balloon.
then what would you do with
it's
it?
a habitat, and it's like double lined. So that it's yeah.
Pops?
Well, it's designed not to, but you're still floating in a balloon. Yeah.
Stay on Earth. He also served as vice president of business development for Space Media, which is an informatics company establishing an e-commerce initiative, which is now part of the UN's education program. And then he founded the Harris Foundation out of Houston, Texas, which is a nonprofit which invests in community-based initiatives to support education, health, and wealth for the socially and economically disadvantaged. And then he's currently the CEO of the National Math and Science Initiative and president and CEO of Vesalius. I think that's how you say it.
Vesalius?
Vesalius, VESAL. Is that a space word? Ventures, which is a venture capital accelerator that invests in early-stage companies regarding medical informatics and technology. But I read bios of somebody like this, and I'm thinking, gosh, I've done nothing. I mean, you think, look at all the stuff he's done.
Well, yeah. Well, look. This is
Happy birthday,
by
Bernard.
the way, you share something in
Anthony
common.
Harris.
You share, and thanks for finding that picture of him with the dogs. Hilarious. You and I share something in common, or you and share something in common with my old business partner, Greg. So one day we were driving, I think back from a client meeting or something, and we were talking about, someone we had met with who had, it was our third company, all this stuff that they
Play
did.
the piano, just climb Mount Everest.
With their toes
Right,
while they're
climb
writing
Mount
a novel,
Everest, wrote
something
a book,
crazy
knitted
like
a
that.
scarf on the way to work.
Yeah. Exactly. Painted an oil painting, sold it in auction. So Greg just says to me, he goes, I don't know what you're worried about. Because I said, wow, this guy did so much, and I feel like we've done nothing. He goes, yeah. He goes, you haven't. He goes, you've done nothing. And you know how Greg was. Greg goes, you're a mediocrity. He goes, it's just like the end of the movie Amadeus. Salieri, the composer that was obsessed with Mozart, is being wheeled to a crazy house. And as he's going by all the crazies, he goes, bless you, because he's the patron saint of mediocrities. So that became a thing for all. No, you've accomplished quite a bit in your career. You may not have gone
No, but
to space.
I want to do some of these things. Of course, that was a lot of schooling. Not that I don't like school, but whew.
The whole mood just goes, oh, a lot
There's a lot
of
of math and
schooling.
science. There was a lot of math and science there.
Oh, sure there is. Yeah, no, it's not how I'm wired. I'm not wired that way.
But I have no desire to go fly around in space. I know you do.
Yeah. Hitch to that, though. So you see him in his spacesuit, right? And he
Yeah.
did scuba. So he's used to having gear. Like, I don't know how I would feel. Like, whenever I watch the astronauts from Apollo 11 or something getting the helmets put on before they go to the Saturn V, you're in a suit, right? Like, I don't know.
Do they just pee in those suits, or what do they do?
Yeah, they do.
I understand they pee up there, and then they fix it and they drink it later.
In the space station, the ISS.
Isn't it all them and the Russians?
There is this
A lot of vodka.
very sophisticated reclamation system, and actually solid waste, poo.
What do they do with that?
It gets spun down in a centrifuge, and they extract the water, and then the water is purified through several charcoal filters and it's. Yeah, you've never seen the videos of the people, like, after they developed the system, they actually were testing it, and they would open the tap, and water would come out, and they'd hand it to someone and say, here, try it. It tastes like water.
The reason space is space.
There you go. Good business birthday. Thank you. I always love a space guy, right?
Yeah, okay.
As you are aware, Deep Discount is a partner of ours here on the Focus Group, and they invite you to own your passion. And you can do that by visiting focusgroupradio.com, clicking on the Deep Discount logo. It is a shark. Arr! But I always do a pirate. I don't know. It's hardwired at this point. And this week, they have a site. It's the end of the site-wide summer sale, and that's everything on the site is on sale, as a matter of fact. So go and shop away. And Tim, you used the site-wide sale. What would you like to get?
Well, I have a confession. So I've never, ever watched Gone with the Wind.
That's like The Godfather.
Too long.
That's like The Godfather movie.
I know. But I've seen little bits and pieces. So, what?
Oh, well, you have
Steve
apparently hasn't seen Gone with the Wind either.
No, I've also never seen Gone with the Wind.
Garrett
Is
of
it
course
good?
has.
No, of course not.
You haven't seen it either?
No.
Okay, see, I thought
The
it
fact
was
that you
rare.
said it's The Godfather confuses me because I've seen that.
Oh, yeah, well, The Godfather's great.
Yeah.
But Gone with the Wind is a great movie.
So this time of year, my friends Carl and Mark down in Rehoboth,
Yeah.
they watch for whatever reason they watch Gone with the Wind. So I said to them over a cocktail, I said, I've never seen it, and they said, well, it's long, and what we do is we watch it in chunks. So we'll watch 45 minutes an hour. We'll take a break, and then next week so they will watch it during the late spring, early summer. They do it every year, but they do it in chunks because he said it's 3 hours or so, whatever it is. And I thought, I don't even have it. I haven't seen it. I don't want to watch it on TV where it's full of commercials.
No,
So
you don't. You want to own it.
you can get it here at deep discount, and it's $8.89 during the sale.
Not bad.
It's a DVD, and of course it came out in 1939, 238 minutes long from the Warner Home Movie Video Collection. And I don't have to tell you much about it. I mean, everybody knows what it is, right?
Well, yeah, and I thought everybody's seen it. And you know the most famous line in the movie, right? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. When
I thought it
Clark
was about
Gable.
when she made the thing with the curtains.
Well, that was Carol Burnett. It's an oft, parodied movie for sure. But, you could watch it actually. There was when the movie was originally released, there was an intermission, I think, in the middle because it is long. And the intermission happens, I think, when they burn down Charlottesville, or it's during the Civil War. Wow. I'm glad you're confessing that you don't have some of your gay card punches in your movie card. I mean, I thought this was a gay card thing. Had to have Gone with the Wind.
Well, you know what? I just, I have a very limited attention span, as you know.
No, you can sit through. You want to know attention span. When we first showed you Grey Gardens, you were sitting on the edge of the couch for almost
It's like
2
a
hours.
documentary. A documentary.
You made it through every piece of that movie. Others jumped out when it got with
a lot of people do jump out of that.
You were.
I'll have to give this a try. Maybe I'll enjoy it. I just don't ever. I think that's a big commitment. It's like playing golf. That's a long day. Watching that Gone with the Wind.
It's no different than binging on like a Netflix show or something for a couple episodes. Just think of it that way. It's a great movie.
A good idea, I suppose.
I picked a movie that I would like to see that I haven't seen. It's called Sunday, Bloody Sunday. And it's the John Schlesinger. It was the director, I believe. And he was the award-winning director of Midnight Cowboy. And the movie's interesting because it depicts the romantic lives of two Londoners, a middle-aged doctor and a prickly 30-something divorcee played by Oscar winners Peter Finch, who was on Network, and Glenda Jackson, who is in Women in Love, who are sleeping with the same handsome young artist, Murray Head. A revelation in its day, so it was a three-way. They were having, and this is from 71. Yeah. A revelation in its day, this may be the 1970s most intelligent, multi-textured film about the complexities of romantic relationships. It's keenly acted and sensitively directed. So I just thought, hey, it's Criterion. They choose films for a reason. They're usually really great.
You haven't seen this?
No, I have not.
Seems very intellectual. I think you'll like it. I bet it's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, well, I don't know, and I like Peter Finch as an actor too. So so that's my pick. I like you, Tim. I will explore a film I haven't seen, except this one. Legitimately, I haven't seen. I don't know. Gone with the Wind. It's like that's like skipping the Wizard of Oz.
It was going to be a U2 concert.
What? Okay.
Wasn't Bloody Sunday about the Irish the uprisings?
Yeah, not Sunday, Bloody Sunday, but it's Bloody Sunday. It's different. Okay. New release.
The new release is Dumbo on Blu-ray.
This is live action Dumbo, by the way.
Which I loved. I loved elephants, and this sounds like actually I don't know how it did in the theater. I think it did well.
So
Colin Farrell is the trainer, right?
Yeah, and this is a Tim Burton movie. So Tim Burton, this is
certain style.
This is his interpretation of Dumbo, the original 1941 animated classic. It stars Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, Ava Green, and Alan Arkin. And you know, I just heard some back and forth. I heard great adaptation, or then you'd read like, "Ooh, boy, what have they done?"
Isn't that the thing with Burton? You either like him or you don't.
You love it or you hate it, yeah. But I think just because it's Tim Burton, I would like to see his take on Dumbo. But Disney's had an interesting record with turning the original 40s and 50s cartoons into live-action shows. So hard to say. All right, so wrap up for us.
So be sure to head over to focusgroupradio.com, click on the deep discount logo. It's the site-wide summer sale. I chose Gone with the Wind. John picked Sunday Bloody Sunday, and the new release on Blu-ray is Dumbo by Tim Burton. If you're a Tim Burton fan, you're going to enjoy that movie. So be sure, again, to go over to focusgroupradio.com, click on the deep discount logo, because we like to get credit for your purchases. Right, Garrett?
Thanks, Deep Discount.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to reveal the top 10 most LGBT-friendly places to retire in America, and we certainly don't agree. Stay with us.
You're listening to The Focus Group with Tim and John. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com. Focus on the savvy side of 9 to 5 with The Focus Group.
Try, really try.
Listen, laugh, and learn with Tim and John.
I never try anything. I just do it.
Hey, welcome back to the Focus Group. John Ash with Tim Bennett, focusgroupradio.com. That's all you need to know. And be sure to check out our weekly Unbuttoned. It's a 20-minute audio podcast that drops on Tuesdays. Okay, as we said before the break, we're going to go over the top 10 most LGBT-friendly places to retire in America. And this list was compiled by Senior, what was it called? Senior Advice?
Senior Advice.
Yeah. So an estimated 4.5% of the U.S. adult population identifies as LGBT. That's about 11 million people. That number is actually...
News to me.
I always go with 6 or 7% because of underreporting. Research also shows the gay population skews younger, with just 23% age 50 or older, and that does make sense on one level because of the HIV/AIDS crisis in the 80s and 90s that took a lot of people, sadly. But of those of us who are starting to get up there in the retirement age, it's time to think about where you want to retire to. So we did this in reverse. Oh, do you want to go over the report criteria at all, or was it just quality of living?
I don't have that.
Oh, as for its report, Senior looked at multiple factors: percentage of LGBT population in the area, the city's score on the HRC Municipal Equality Index, LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce presence, and the number of gay-friendly senior communities, local and state legislation protecting the community, and the cost of living. So they had a little bit of a matrix there.
LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. That's like having a welcome wagon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Tim. Yeah.
What?
It's true. Hey, look, I'm with you.
So before we go through the list, John, was there any city on here that that you would consider retiring to? You don't have to mention it now, but let us know when we hit it. But is there one on here that you would retire to on this list? So let's start with number 10, Tampa, Florida. It says sunny Tampa is close to the other popular beach towns like Clearwater and St. Pete.
Guys, wait. You know what Tim always does for me on these lists?
What?
Tim always puts in pictures of bare-chested go-go boys because that catches my eye.
Well, but no, here's what I did. I typed in the name of the city in the Google machine. I typed in Tampa, Florida retirement, and that's the picture that popped up. And the one, look at Dayton, and then look at Dayton, Ohio, number 9. Look what popped up for retirement. Sitting
What is
at
that?
the bar.
Drag bingo.
So it was just random.
So Tim uses the Google machine.
Google machine, I hit in gay retirement Tampa.
So Tampa, okay.
This Go-Go Boys came up with this kind of look. It looks like a bachelorette party or a wedding or something, right? I don't know. Anyway, Tampa was number 10 and Dayton was number 9 for cities to retire to. What do you think of those two places?
They had their reasons here. Tampa was assisted living costs are low. Overall cost of living is low. But what they didn't talk about here in any of these cities was what I would just call quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, like beyond these very rigid categories of cost and whatever. So Tampa,
you get inexpensive housing.
Yeah, and Dayton, Ohio, number 9. Cost of living in Dayton is low compared to similar Ohio cities. I don't know. For me, sorry if you live there. I don't mean to offend, but they wouldn't be on my radar. Let's put it that way.
No.
All right. So what was?
So that's number 8 and number 7. So number 8 was Austin, Texas. Now Austin, Texas comes up on a lot of lists.
Yes, I agree.
But and if you did have to be in Texas, Austin's the place to be. We would agree with that. If you want to be in Texas.
In fact, they say here Austin is an oasis for LGBT seniors who account for just over 5% of the city's population, according to Senior Advisor. Assisted living costs, care costs are high compared nationally, but the average cost of living is average. So, you may be paying more if you have to have assisted living in your future. You'd be paying a little more than the national average, but the cost is generally average to be in there. And what was number
7 was Fort Lauderdale, which
we've been.
What I would expect would have been closer to the top because
Same
that
here.
seems to be an oasis for an awful lot of people I know have retired. If they retire to Florida, it's Fort Lauderdale. And I always say I include Wilton Manors in that because
same
it's right
here.
there. So, but Fort Lauderdale came out at number 7. They said they call it the gay capital city of Florida, and it's also a mecca for visitors alike, particularly in the wintertime.
I'll echo what you said. I was expecting that one to be like number 1 or 2 at least.
It does say Lauderdale is ranked as one of the top 5 best U.S. places to retire overall for everybody, with an affordability rank of 76 out of 100. And they said although the cost of living there could be high compared to the national average, but it's what you said, quality of life, right?
Yeah. And the people you're surrounded by.
Yeah.
So number 6 and number 5 are 6 was Tempe, Arizona, a city I have never been to before.
No, me neither.
But Arizona often comes up in these lists because of the cost of living and just what you can own as a home out there, et cetera. And then 5 was Alexandria, Virginia, which was such a surprise to me. Was that a surprise?
It was a shock to me because I know a lot of people that lived in D.C. that are a tad older that worked at the Capitol. It's right outside of Washington, D.C. It's the Capitol. And Alexandria is expensive. There's lots of traffic. And anyone I know who is retired that loves being in the Virginia or the Mid-Atlantic area, they've all gone out to rural Virginia, about 60, 70 miles west.
Hour and 20
Which
minutes.
is gorgeous and affordable and rolling hills and farms and countryside. And there's a huge LGBT, particularly gay and lesbian population out there. I couldn't believe it. So, yes, Alexandria was surprising to me because I know a lot of people that left there that went out to more rural Virginia.
All right. Next up for 4 and 3.
So number 4 and number 3. Number 4 was Toledo, Ohio.
Again, I've never been to Toledo.
I love Ohio, but of all the places to pick in Ohio, you probably pick the 2 dumpiest. Dayton and Toledo, believe me, are not. There's so many other great places in Ohio.
Is it like Columbus?
Even parts of Cleveland, suburbs of
Cleveland,
where I went to school in Marietta, the Cincinnati area. But Toledo is.
But it says here the city is known for its art and culture, including Toledo Museum of Art, Toledo Zoo, and the Toledo Botanical Garden. Now, wait a gosh darn minute.
That's a day.
Well,
what am I going to do the other 364 days?
Gee, John, you got to get in a car and drive out to Toledo Botanical Garden. I mean, I've never heard of any of these things. I don't mean to be.
Toledo is no garden spot. And but it says it's one of the top 10 U.S. cities where you can buy a house for under $100,000 because it's Toledo. And that's the picture that came up. So it looks like a rip-roaring town.
And then number 3 is Tucson, Arizona. Now, have you been to Tucson?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in Tucson for the very first time a year or two ago. My oldest niece graduated from Embry-Riddle, up in Prescott, Arizona, and I took my bike with me, and I went and I got an Airbnb, and I did. Tucson is great bike riding, and I did some famous rides. I saw a friend out there for dinner, and I said this is exactly what I said. I said, why is it that when I'm driving around Tucson, the only businesses that I see are tire stores, mattress stores, and hearing aid stores?
What?
And then she laughed, and she said, "You're in the retirement capital of the world, kiddo. We need batteries for the." Tucson
It's hot, and you're in all day.
Unfortunately, it gets really, really hot, and but I thought it was beautiful though. It's at the base of some mountains, and I enjoyed it.
You're gonna retire there?
No, I'm not going to retire there. It was my first choice for retirement is not even on the list, and we'll get there. And number 2 and 1.
Number 2 was West Palm Beach, Florida. And they said it has more than 40 miles of beaches and plenty of shopping, 40 antique shops along the Antique Row and its arts and design district.
40 whole antique shops.
Right. I love this one. It says there's a gay nightlife, including a popular neighborhood and gay bars. And I said, do I really want gay nightlife in retirement?
Popular, and the gay bar is called HG Roosters. You know, I got to retire down to that Palm Beach to get that Roosters is going to be that's my watering hole. I'll go to the bar and I'll set up shop.
Number 1 outside of San Francisco, and Billy, you can write me a note about it. The Bill Elias, he's always, because I pick on San Francisco. The other most overrated city in America, number 1, New Orleans, Louisiana. What a dump.
I did not get
That's
this.
number 1.
I did not get this for retirement at all. I did not get this. Now,
Not because there was a flood.
no, it's just,
But I New Orleans for retirement. Now, I know people love it.
you know, my cousin.
Not for me.
One of my cousins and his wife used to live outside of New Orleans on the edge of Lake Pontchartrain, and they were there until the hurricane. Their house got destroyed, and they moved to Houston. But they miss New Orleans because they said the city does have a special kind of charm to it. But they weren't in the city; they were one of the suburbs. So I don't know.
I probably should read what it says. Known for its historic French Quarter, it's a haven for the LGBTQ community due to its abundance of gay inclusiveness, according to senior advice. The city has a gay Easter parade, Southern Decadence, which is an annual gay festival and parade held around Labor Day, more than a dozen gay bars. It's also one of the cities in North America with the largest gay population at 5.1%. Very low cost of living compared to national average with health care, yada, yada.
Let's just wind that back to something for a minute. I'm retiring, and I'm retiring because I want to go to a circuit party called Southern Decadence. Hey, Grandpa, here's a glass of water. We're going to drop some acid and dance. I mean, I don't mean
Put these washers on your nipples and parade up and down the street with a wig on, and then head over to one of the dozen gay bars.
So you can guess
humidity and hot, and then careful where you step. Don't slip on the throw up on Bourbon Street.
Yeah. So you can guess where I would retire to.
Palm Springs.
Exactly. Would you?
I would like Palm Springs in the winter. I don't understand the summer thing where people say, yes, it's a dry heat. Baloney. It's 120 degrees. You're like a guppy out of water.
It is dry, but it is oppressive. But it's not as oppressive as the humidity. But look, I could easily.
I would
go
do that
there.
in the winter, and then ideally, I would like to retire somewhere on the Cape, maybe, or up in Maine. But I kind of got this Rehoboth place.
When Bob and I when Bob and I moved to our new apartment, I jokingly said to Bob, I said, enjoy this. It's the last apartment you'll ever own. We're going to be probably taken out, and I meant to say it was the last we would own on the island of Manhattan. But in actuality, the last one we lived in was 21 years. We were at our last apartment. It's a long time.
21 years from now, you'll be lucky to be alive.
Exactly. I'll be taken on to Pine Box. All right, we're going to go to the booth because during break we gave the boys the Oreo stash from our listener down in Texas. Opinions, favorites?
They all taste the same.
Well, okay, guys. Let's start with the top one. Did you try the latte, the little thin ones?
Yes.
How was latte?
Pretty good.
I liked latte too.
Yeah.
Garrett?
It was good. It had a weird aftertaste. That was the only thing.
That's what Tim detected. Garrett, do you have a favorite?
Not really.
Ah, okay.
The s'mores, I don't like the gingerbread flavor.
Yeah,
I'll eat it,
Crazy.
kind of thing, but I
Clear
don't
cut
like it.
favorite is s'mores.
How about the dark chocolate?
I'm not a dark chocolate fan. It was all right.
I love Garrett more and more. Don't like
You should
chocolate.
take Garrett down to Rehoboth with you.
Garrett and I have a night out. Except you got to use soap. I was thinking about you today. You got to clean your ass with soap. You can't do that with water. He doesn't use soap.
Yeah, but no one's complaining.
Well, I would.
Well, why would you?
Well, I just think he needs to use soap.
That's what you have to contend with, Garrett. If you
Come to my house, you got to use soap. I'm going to check.
No,
Wow.
thank you.
There's going to be a Me Too moment down in Rehoboth. Me 3. Yeah, me 4.
Did you guys try the candy bars? We didn't try those.
You didn't try the candy bars yet?
No, not yet.
No, yeah, okay.
No? All right.
But all right, good. So, as with many Oreo flavors, it's a mixed bag. You gotta, sometimes they really hit it out of the park, and sometimes they're just,
So if you were forced to eat one out of that group, I would probably eat the latte.
The latte was the surprise to me.
Yeah, me too.
I agree.
Dark chocolate wasn't bad, but I do like the thin ones overall. I think that's a good concept. The lemon thin ones and
Bob's favorite are the mint thins.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
because the illusion is that you could have 10.
A whole bunch of them.
But maybe that's like 5. He does this equivalency thing where if I have 10 of the thins, it's really not like having 10 Oreos.
You two are funny because you watch your food all day and then night comes, it all falls apart.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But I stayed at your house. All of a sudden, it's like I see fingerprints and the icing on the cupcakes. And
yeah, it's so true. And it takes me back to a summer on the Cape once. We did a house with a bunch of guys, and 2 guys from California had flown in to do the house with us, and they were doing P-Town, and then they were going to Fire Island Pines for some morning party, and they were both on super strict diets, and they didn't eat all day. They were losing. We got to get cut up. We got to get cut up for the Pines. One night, I go down to the kitchen to get literally a glass of water, and one of them is standing there with a bag of Doritos. He's shoving them in his mouth so fast that they're crumbling, and they're landing on the sink. And there's like the powder from the Dorito. I forget what the flavor was. It was that cheese thing. Powder is around his face. He's going like this. I go click. The light goes on, and they stop, and then some of the chips hit the thing, and I'm like, got it. He goes, what can I do? He goes, I'm starved for carbs. I'm like, okay, but, And the other lover his partner was in the other room having like half a tube of cookies. So we're like, oh, I get it. So during the day, you don't eat.
Yeah, and they play the game of telling everybody. We had a car dealer like that used to reprimand everybody about what they ate on these trips.
I love this story.
Then I finally pulled her room. I thought
room charges,
and she was ordering macadamia pies every night. And so I asked, there were these big macadamia pies with like caramel and yeah, and we asked, and they were eating. There wasn't any thrown away. They were eating. But meanwhile, she's lecturing everybody else about how bad sugar is and desserts and carbs and soda and everything.
It was kind of like back in the day, if you were on a business expense account, you would dare never order a porn movie in your room, because it used to actually come up on your bill as adult entertainment. But now I think they changed that. I don't think it says adult entertainment anymore.
Well, you can still find out what it is. I mean, we had an agency guy. Remember that when he didn't show up for his meeting and he was watching porn, doing coke, and drinking whiskey all night. He didn't show up for the meeting. We pulled his room charges. Then he went and fell asleep on the massage table for all day.
Ching, 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 ching. The price goes up. Corporate America, we got your number, and we got the stories, too.
Happy Pride. It's the end. Thanks for joining.
Back in the box.
Isn't the end of Pride, John?
It's the end of it all, yes.
Thanks for everybody for joining us today. Thanks to Harry's for supporting us here in the focus group. And thanks to all of you who purchased the Pride Shave Kit. It's out of stock, but you can still try Harry's products if you go to Harry's/focus or Harry's.com/focus. You can still do the trial sets, and we appreciate their support here at the focus group, as well as our friends at Deep Discount. It's a site-wide summer sale going on. Be sure to go to focusgroupradio.com, click on the Deep Discount logo, and start shopping away. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you, Steve. Thank you to our listener in Fort Worth for sending us these great Oreo cookies and our Hot Wheels and a nice note. And thank you, John. And remember, don't text and drive, arrive alive. Have a good week.
It's The Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Accessible on all platforms. Subscribe, like, and rate us on your platform of choice. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com.
That was a stunning focus group.